hear me now. Good evening and welcome to the 81st annual meeting of the High West Energy Incorporated. My name is Ed Crawford, and it is an honor to serve as president of your board of directors. Would you please join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Dave Krause. Dave is the Chief Information Officer for High West Digital Services, and he will lead us in prayer. Thank you.
Welcome. Would you indulge me for a moment as we open with a word of prayer? Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening to celebrate life together with friends and family, to celebrate accomplishments made over the past year, to celebrate the freedoms that we are allowed to enjoy because so many men and women and their families have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice in order to keep it so. May those sacrifices never be forgotten. We come together tonight to celebrate all that you have blessed us with, and we are truly thankful. As we celebrate another year gone by, we want to take time to honor the members without whom we would not be here. May you bless each one and bless those who cannot be here. As we continue with the business at hand, may you guide and direct our efforts. I pray that we will be unified in those efforts to do what is right and to do right by our members. May we never lose sight of that vision, and may we continue to value the things most important. Thank you for the opportunity to gather here tonight. May you be pleased by our thoughts, words, and actions. It is in your name that we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dave. I would like to start our meeting by saying what an exciting time it's been for your cooperative. We are 81 years old and getting better with age. This provides us great satisfaction that instead of being from an out-of-area supplier, we are headquartered right here in Pine Bluff and have service centers in Potter, Cheyenne, and Warren Air Force Base. While we are blessed to see increasing energy sales over the years, running a business with $110 million of assets and almost $80 million in annual revenues is a responsibility your board, management, and employees take very seriously. In our opinion, good leadership requires a balance of stewarding our assets and resources so that we can provide a good value to the membership today, and also investing in our system and adjusting to what is going on in the industry and the marketplace so we can provide an even greater value in the future. This is not an easy task, but I want membership to know we always have one eye on the future. Resting on our laurels is not who we are or what we intend to be. With that, I would like to introduce your board of directors. One of the cooperative principles is democratic member control. Your directors are elected officials voted into office in specific geographic locations within the High West Energy service territory by the members who live in those districts. The board is responsible for making key policy decisions and for setting the course for future growth and development. These board members have dedicated their time and hard work to lead the cooperative. It is my proud honor to introduce such a dedicated group of individuals. They are Michael Eric, District 11, Gary Smith, District 12, Jerry Burnett, District 14, Dan Atchison, District 15, Jamie Fowler, District 16, and Kevin Thomas, District 17. Let's give them all a round of applause. I would also like to acknowledge any retired directors or employees who are present today. Please stand. Finally, I would like to introduce today's special guest. Michael S. McGinnis, Chief Executive Officer, Tri-State Generation and Transmission Association. Michael. John Taylor, Executive Director of the Wyoming Rural Electric Association. Mike Crom, with us, CEO of Western United Electric. And then Kim Christensen, General Manager of the Nebraska Rural Electric Association. And Hank Bailey, Attorney at Law for Bailey, Stock, Harmon, Cotton, and Whittle. This time, Hank will read the official meeting notice.
Good evening. Official meeting notice. Notice of annual meeting of the members of High West Energy, Inc. This annual meeting of the members of High West Energy, Inc. will be held at the High West Energy headquarters in Pine Bluff, Wyoming at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, June 21, 2018, to take action upon the following matters. 1. The report of officers, directors, and committees. 2. The election of 2 directors, 1 each in Districts 11 and 13. 3. Take action on proposed bylaw changes. 4. All other business which may come before the meeting or any adjournment or adjournments thereof. In connection with the election of 2 directors scheduled for this meeting, the following members have been nominated by the nominating committee, which is appointed by the Board of Directors of the corporation pursuant to the bylaws. District 11, Michael Lyric. District 13, Ed Prosser. Dated this 23rd day of April 2018, respectively Dan Atchison, Secretary. Now, I've been doing this for 40 years. So this is quite an evening for me. And I've also been doing this for 40 years. We now need to read the minutes of last year's meeting, unless we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes in 2017. I have a motion, I have a second, I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thank you. Are there any more ballots for the items that will be, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have several. Can we have someone from staff collect those ballots and take them to the room where the ballots are being collected? Hold them up high. Okay.
It's now time for me to introduce our CEO and General Manager. Brian Hightoff has been with the cooperative since 2011, and he will now report on the activities of the co-op over the last year. Brian? We meant to do it earlier, but we do have, I'll make the official announcement, we do have a quorum. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. I also want to extend thanks for your attendance tonight. It's great to see everyone. As I was thinking about a couple weeks ago what to report tonight, I got to thinking that I'm probably speaking to the choir. I mean, I look around and you're some of our most loyal and dedicated members. And you helped build this co-op to make it what it is today. As a result, I intend to keep my remarks shorter than normal. Thank you. I'd still like, even though I'll keep them shorter, I do want to give you the satisfaction of knowing the cooperative is working hard to deliver safe, reliable, and competitively priced energy and services. So first, I will talk about rates. High West Energy is working on your behalf to ensure you are paying affordable and competitive rates. We had a strong year financially in 2017, and it is appearing 2018 will be even stronger, and that's despite many irrigation systems remaining idle in April and May. As importantly, in 2017 and again this year, we continue to drive our operating costs per kilowatt hour sold lower, which is a measurement of our fiscal responsibility. This translates in part as to the reason we were able to cancel a rate increase that we had previously announced for 2018, and it'll likely result in no increase in at least 2019, absent unforeseen circumstances. Now, while we're on the topic of rates, one of the internal strategic initiatives we have is to fix the design of our rate structure. Now, this can get technical in a hurry, but when I say the word fix, I mean working to reduce subsidization between and among rate classes. How we do that is to increase certain components of our rate structure or by introducing peak time charges when the cost to generate power is higher. When we do this, we know that we'll also lower other components of the rate structure so that the changes are revenue neutral to the cooperative. I mention this because enhancing the fairness of how we charge for our services has been an ongoing challenge, and we will probably take another step in this direction in 2019 and or 2020, even though we will not need increased revenues with which to run the operations. Anyway, getting back to what I was mentioning in regard to our cost structure, when compared to other co-ops in the state, region, and even nationally, our operating costs are lower than most. As importantly, Tri-State Generation and Transmission Association is also working hard on maintaining the line on costs. We are blessed with the growth we've been experiencing. We now sell over 400 million kilowatt hours a year. Thankfully, due to our growth, we are able to invest in rebuilding and maintaining our electric system at increased levels, which is leading to better reliability. We have been and are funding line rebuilds and system maintenance which otherwise would not have been possible. The 400 million kilowatt hours in sales is almost double that of 5 years ago. Growth has been good for High West and for the local community. We are plowing these added resources into our electric system and the local economy. I also want to talk about the word community. We are proud that we have many employees who live in our communities who volunteer their time coaching, being firefighters, giving back to our churches, and lending a hand at fairs, parades, and community events. At a time when rural areas are losing population, we encourage our employees to be involved and for the co-op to support the tri-state region as much as we can. While we wish we could sometimes do more to build our communities, know the co-op and our employees are invested in making this the best place to live, work, and raise a family. And we continue to invest in the safety of our personnel by creating a culture of safe work practices and by ensuring we have good equipment and tools. The resources we dedicate to training employees and ensuring we have well-maintained and properly working equipment is not insignificant. We value our employees and our membership. Therefore, we feel it is wise to be prudent when it comes to providing safe working conditions. Well, that's the bulk of my report. To summarize, we are investing in our system in order to provide reliable power for the long term. With growth, helping fund a decent share of the expenses associated with maintaining our system. We are focusing on creating internal efficiencies and have been successful at driving our cost structure down to that of being below that of our peers. And we work safe, and our employees belong to the local communities we serve, and we want to make this an attractive place to live. And yet, we are not satisfied and therefore pledge to continue working hard in all these areas in order to increase the value you receive from us. With that, I want to introduce our employees. They are an extremely talented and dedicated group, and they appreciate the values we stand for, just like you. It's an honor for me to be able to thank our High West Energy team members who are present tonight. So please stand and wave and be recognized. I also want to recognize our annual meeting planning committee. Teamwork and cooperation is valued at High West. We have internal teams for wellness, safety, accident reporting, accident investigations, and many more functions. And our annual meeting planning team took the lead on tonight's event, and so let's also give them a round of appreciation. Speaking of teamwork and cooperation, our employees also deserve credit for creating a culture of hard work, discipline, innovation, and being member-focused. This is the way we do things around here. We get things done in a positive manner and have fun doing it. Having a good strategy is important, but having a strong culture is even more so. It is an open and inclusive environment, and one in which personal accountability for attitude and performance is the norm. It is really quite remarkable, and we all feel honored to be working alongside each other to serve you. With that, we had a retirement recently that is worth noting. Shirley Hall, who is here in the third row, who was with us for over 36 years, retired in May. Many of you know Shirley and can attest that she has a smile and a positive attitude every day. So we already miss Shirley, and I wish you the best in retirement. Additionally, many of you know Lloyd Sisson, who is our engineering manager. Lloyd has been with us 36 years this month and will be retiring sometime next year. This will likely be his last annual meeting as an employee. So is Lloyd here? Lloyd? In the back. Thanks, Lloyd. So thanks again for your attendance. And actually, since I'm we're a little bit ahead of schedule, if anyone has a question or two, I'd be happy to take them. And before we move on, so are there any questions? Yes, we do. I think we have a mic, by the way. Yes, hold on.
I was just wondering if you were going to look into doing the internet.
So the question is, are we going to look into, again, the internet? And the answer is no, or at least we're not prepared to look into it at this time. You know, I think most people know that a year or so ago, or more than a year ago, we took about a little over a year to really study offering broadband service. And our conclusion at the end of that process was that there were just too many risks for us to go forward. And so we decided against it, and it's just kind of the way things landed. Thank you for the question, though. Is there another question?
Yes. I just wanted to start out by thanking High West for the grace period that you allow us for paying our bills. Without it this year, I would have been in serious trouble. The grace period runs for 5 days after you close your books. No check doesn't come until 3 days after you close your books, so it's been a very handy thing for me to have, and I really appreciate it. I would, however, like to ask you to hold it as a grace period and not let it be designated again as a delinquency period. I have a bachelor's degree in English, and I've had 2 books published, and I know some things about words. Words don't get 2 meanings. A grace period is a grace period. It's not a delinquency period. Last year, it was designated as a delinquency period, and patronage dividends were applied to patrons' accounts instead of being sent to the patrons. I already had a small credit on my account. I didn't need that other admittedly very small credit, but that very small credit meant a lot to me because I have a very small income. So I'd like to ask that you not designate it as a delinquency period again and take away the patronage dividends, but let it remain a grace period. I really appreciate the grace period, but I'd like it to keep its characteristics. Thank you.
All right, thanks for your comment. And, yeah, we'll bring that up and we'll have a discussion internally. What Jade's referring to is that when we changed our billing deadline last year, we allowed for a grace period, but we still consider it delinquent on the day that it's due, which is the 28th of the month, even though there is a 5-day grace period. And then on the patronage capital issue, I will make sure that we have a discussion about that. Thank you. All right, anything else? One more?
Yeah. You know, you said that you didn't have any further look into the internet and laying fiber optics. With the state and federal government pushing grants to connect rural America, have you looked into possibly getting money from them? And I think the last time when you did it, there just wasn't enough notification about it or things like that. I know when I went to the first meeting, a lot of people didn't know that by putting fiber optics up to your house, it's going to increase your value of your home by $3,000 to $5,000. And that was something that was not even touched on until I brought it up. So, or even talking to a cable TV company that would partner up with you.
Okay, another comment, we'll also talk about that. Thank you for sharing your perspective. Okay. Well, we do have one more, okay.
How are you approaching the challenge of cybersecurity, which is a broad challenge, I know? Well, how are you approaching that?
Well, that's a great question, because protecting your data and protecting our internal systems, and also as we put more automation out in the field, is becoming more of an issue and a concern. So we have taken steps. It's an internal dialogue weekly, if not more often than that. We are fortunate in that we have an IT staff that many cooperatives our size would not be able to afford because of us offering High West Digital Solutions to the membership. And so therefore, we have expertise that we think goes beyond many companies our size. What I would suggest is that if you have some specific questions, we can get with Dave afterwards. Just know that it is something that is very serious to us. Okay, well, let's move on. And I mentioned our commitment to communities in which we serve. This extends to supporting our youth through our annual scholarship program. This year we provided 15 students with scholarships to help them with their education. We usually have 30 to 40 applications each year, and while we'd like to help out even more, we do have limited resources, and therefore a selection team of 3 guidance counselors in the area got together, as they do every year, and selected who would be the scholarship recipients. So I'd like to ask Kenzie Braves, who just graduated from Pine Bluffs High School, to come up and introduce all of this year's scholarship winners. And some of our other scholarship winners are also here. If you could also come up and join Kenzie on the stage. Kenzie is a recipient of a $1,000 scholarship from us. There you go.
Hi everyone, hope you're having a good night. I think I can speak for all of us and say that it was a pleasure to be here, and we're very thankful that you guys invited us tonight. I'm Kenzie Graves, and like you said, I'm from Pine Bluffs. I will be attending the University of Wyoming in the fall, where I will study biology and minor in honors, so I can pursue my dream of becoming a pediatrician. I would like to say thank you to the High West Energy Board on behalf of all of us for presenting us with this wonderful opportunity. We are all honored to receive these funds, and they will be very useful as we all head off to our respective colleges this fall. These funds will help reduce the cost of paying for college, which is something that we're all very thankful for, I can probably say. The scholarship recipients include Gabriella Dodgson, Kelsey Faircloth, Audrey Joltz, Colton Sowards, Payson Haroon, Courtney Willis, Monica Rosalewski, Ariana Cudney, Logan Anderson, Cheyenne Batison, Josh Duggan, Emily Kiter, Taylor Krause, and Kenzie Spear. So again, I just want to say congratulations to all of the recipients, and then also thank you to the board.
Nice job. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. 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 All right, I also want to introduce one of our youth tour recipients. As you know, we sponsor a student each year to go to Washington, D.C., at least one, and sometimes more, as part of what 900 electric co-ops call the youth tour. Thousands of high school students transcend on our nation's capital each year, each June, to learn about the history of our country, to learn about the cooperative business model, and also about the legislative process. This year, Allison Michelson from Carpenter and Maddie Johnson from Potter were sponsored by High West. Maddie would have liked to have been here, but is at a basketball camp in Sutherland. And Allison was here. Is Allison still here? Awesome. So Allison, you want to come up and say a few words?
Well, I would like to start by saying thank you to High West for sponsoring me to attend Youth Tour this year. It was an amazing experience, and I still can't wrap my head around all the people that were out there. It was quite a culture shock from being in the middle of Wyoming and not being able to experience that many people in such a small area. I really enjoyed the trips to Mount Vernon and Fort McHenry, and it was, I still can't wrap my mind around being there and standing where such horrible and amazing things have happened, and walking up the stairs in President Washington's house, the same stairs that he walked up, is just unbelievable. Being able to have that honor. And I would like to thank Robin for dealing with all of us. I know we were a handful, probably. And I had such a great experience with you. And I would like to encourage all of you to push your children and grandchildren to sign up for the energy camp in the summer, and then the next year to apply for the youth tour. Because I have made so many friends on that trip, and I know that when we landed in Denver, when we got back and sang our goodbyes, I knew that I would remember this trip forever, even though it felt like we were there half a day. We just had so much stuff to do and so many things to see, and it was all amazing. So please encourage your children and grandchildren to apply for this, and so they can experience this wonderful thing too. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker. Mr. Mike McGinnis has been the Chief Executive Officer of Tri-State Generation and Transmission since March of 2014. Mike served, prior to that, as Senior Vice President of Production at Tri-State, and previously served as Executive Vice President and General Manager of Plains Electric Generation and Transmission Cooperative in New Mexico. Mike is a strong leader for Tri-State, and we are fortunate to have him at that helm. Please help me welcome Mike McGinnis.
Thank you very much. It is great to be here tonight. I always enjoy coming to these meetings for a number of reasons. One is I always learn something. Tonight, I learned something pretty special, I thought. I had an occasion once of traveling with your attorney, and I thought, here's a guy who's wise beyond his years for just being out of law school and knowing what he did. Well, now I find out he's been doing it for 40 years. It's amazing. Well, I'm just impressed for a different reason. But it has been great to get to know so many good people in this program. The other thing that I'm grateful for tonight, actually several things. One, and I've just accomplished one of my major goals. Have you ever watched anybody coming up on a podium and trip and fall? It's not a pretty sight. So I'm grateful to be up here still standing in front of you, and figure that's a great achievement for tonight. The other thing I'm grateful for is that your CEO mentioned that we're ahead of schedule. People were telling me, keep it short, you've only got X amount of time. Well, I figure now that we're ahead of schedule, that sort of freed me up a little bit. There's nothing worse than coming with a mouthful to say and then not being able to do that. So I'm grateful. I hope you all recognize what a blessing and opportunity that's yours. Do you know how rare it is to have an opportunity like this and be able to address your CEO when he stands up here and asks, is there anything that you're wondering about, or is there any questions that I can ask? If you were an Excel customer or Cheyenne Light & Power, and I could go on naming those, and you decided one day you wanted to go talk to the CEO, you wouldn't get past security. You wouldn't even get to go up the elevator to see where the office is, and your CEO stood in front of you and asked you for any questions that you might have. It's a wonderful opportunity that we enjoy in the cooperative world. I really will keep it short. I have had that experience one other time too. It's all right, if you aren't going to knock it off, we're just going to drown you out with some other noise. The second thing I'd like to tell you about tonight is, one of the other things I think is a privilege of being a cooperative member, and I, like you, am a member of a cooperative. When we moved to Denver in 2000, with the merger of Tri-State and Plains, I told my wife, I said, you can live anywhere you want with one exception. We have got to live in one of our members' service territories. Being a wonderful person that she was, she readily agreed to that. And so for most of my life, I have been a member of a cooperative just like you are. I think it's the best business model for electricity that there is. I think it should be outlawed to have a profit gained from the provider of electricity. It is a commodity that we all not only enjoy, but require in our lives. It gives us the lifestyle that we have come to enjoy and appreciate, and in many cases, it provides life itself for us. The other day, I was in a meeting and they were talking about rate increases. Your CEO just gave you some great news, that you aren't having a rate increase this year and maybe not for another year or two. Likewise, at Tri-State, we are trying very hard not to have rate increases for the next 4 to 5 years, which should assist you here in that endeavor as well. But anyway, we were talking about rate increases, and you could tell from some of the questions that were being asked, people weren't pleased with the rate increase. I get that. Nobody likes to see the price of things go up, particularly things that we want and need. But I can tell you tonight that if you will take a look at your household budget and compare what it costs you for electricity today and compare it to, you just pick the time frame, whether it's 10, 15, or 20 years ago, I believe you will find that it's still the best buy in your household budget. And you can compare it to almost anything. Price of a new pickup, think about that. What you paid for those 15 years ago, and then you compare what you're paying for your electricity today. Any bottled water in the audience? Wow. I think that's the first time I've ever asked that question and not seen one bottle. We have become accustomed to drinking bottled water, and in fact, many people have to have it. You go to a restaurant and they say, well, you want bottled water or out of the tap? And I'm thinking, just make it wet and cold, and I'm good. If you look at bottled water, go down to the store, you will pay upwards of $8 a gallon for that water that you drink so easily. If you took 10 cents worth of your electricity, you could pump 1,000 gallons of water with that. Now you think about that value. I'm not suggesting that you need to be happy. Give your CEO a premium for keeping your rates down low. Every once in a while we have to have an increase. But think about what we get for that. And think about the value that it is for life. I still go to a couple of annual meetings a year where I'm able to shake hands with people who remember getting power for the first time. It changed their lives. Our lives are different because of that very affordable electricity that we enjoy today. Now, that commercial was free, didn't cost you anything, but I want you to recognize two things. One is I appreciate what that does for me and for my family in our lives. I appreciate this program that has meant so much to so many people over so many years. I'm grateful to be a part of serving you with electricity. Grateful to be here tonight. I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Our next speaker is Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor is the Executive Director of the Wyoming Rural Electric Association. Sean has been with WRA since 2006, and prior to that was a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. He is a University of Wyoming graduate and resides in Cheyenne. Please help me welcome Sean Taylor.
Thanks, Ed. Good evening, everybody. So a couple of things. First of all, this noise is new. Last year, I believe I was drowned out by the trains, and I think that was on purpose. I think they might be putting these things together just in case I go a little long-winded. Once the train comes by and this thing kicks up again, I guess that's my clue to get off the stage. So, as is habit with me, I don't really write down what I want to say. And I'm thinking about a bunch of different things driving out here, what I want to say. I talked to Brian the other day about what I might talk about. So I'm going to try and, Mike took my punchline already. I was going to say, since Brian saved all this time, I'm going to take it up. But he took some up, so I'll take the rest of it up. I'm going to touch on just a couple of things. So first of all, the Wyoming Rural Electric Association, and I don't know if I've talked about this before in front of you folks before or not, but what we are is we're an association that High West Energy and the 10 other rural electric cooperatives in Wyoming belong to. They all belong to WREA. And some of the things that we do on the co-op's behalf and on your behalf is we publish the Wyoming Rural Electric News, the WREN magazine that you all get. And Kelly Douglas is here from the magazine. She's our assistant editor. She's right here in the second row. Stand up, wave. So we publish that. And that's our main communications tool with many of the folks out in rural Wyoming. The other thing that we do is, and you already heard, tonight is the youth tour. And I would like to recognize Robin Feeser. She's our office manager and the youth tour guru back there. Thanks, Robin. She puts up with all these kids every year, does a fantastic job, and we get nothing but great reviews from the kids that she's the chaperone for, as well as other chaperones out on the trip. So very much appreciate everything that Robin does. And then among other things, the third thing that we do is we advocate on your behalf on various different issues before Cheyenne, the Wyoming legislature, Wyoming regulators, back in DC before the elected officials, our senators and our representatives and regulators back in DC as well, and agencies, Interior, BLM, what have you. And so I want to tell you just a quick story in that regard. As Ed mentioned, lobbying, and one of the things that we lobbied on really all of our system's behalf this past year was this bill called the Move Over Law. And if you've been reading your magazines, which I'm sure you all do diligently, you've probably read about this Move Over Law. And it's a common sense bill that we got passed this year, I'm happy to announce. And really what it does is it goes into effect July 1, and it puts our utility crews in the same category as emergency vehicles or highway patrol vehicles. So if you see a High West vehicle pull off to the side of the road with their lights on, slow down and move over. Now hopefully everybody already does that. And we got some comments when we were running this bill that, well, why do we have to pass a law to tell people to do that? Unfortunately, we do. And we had one of your own linemen, Joe Shogren. He came to testify. All right, now I'm just waiting for the train. Joe Shogren came to testify before the House committee this year during the legislature and talk about all the near misses. This is one co-op out of 10 in Wyoming, or one out of 11, and talk about some of the near misses that he's experienced or witnessed of people being careless and not pulling over, right? Not slowing down, common courtesy, slow down, move over, give these folks a wide berth because they're out there trying to fix something. They're not out there just for the hell of it. So we got it passed this year, but my story is how it came to be. And last year, and I hope I didn't tell this story last year, I can't remember, but last year during the legislature, during the budget session, or this year is during the budget session. Last year we had this bill, and it was also involved with YDOT and some issues that YDOT wanted to do. But our language to include the utility crews in this bill was in there. It went through the summer. The committee looked at it in the summertime. It got to the session of the legislature. It passed the House, no opposition. Passed the Senate committee, no opposition. And then it gets down to what they call third reading. And third reading consent list means they pile on a bunch of bills that nobody should have a problem with. They put them on this consent list and then they vote for it. And it passed on the consent list, and then what they do is they go through each individual bill on the consent list and say, does anybody want to change their mind? And so right before they voted on this consent list in the Senate, they caucused, the Republicans caucused, and that means they just all get together behind closed doors and talk about stuff that nobody knows. And then they came out and voted. And in the Wyoming legislature, and I don't know if Ken's going to talk much about the Nebraska unicameral legislature, but in the Wyoming legislature, the House and the Senate have not been getting along much at all lately. And it's mostly Republicans. I think we have 9 Democrats in the entire legislature. So it's mostly Republicans fighting with each other. And this was a House bill. Is that God telling me to shut up? I don't know. So anyhow, long story short, this was a House bill, and the Senate caucused right before the vote on the consent list, and they came out, and 28 senators stood up and voted against the move over bill. And I had a few senators admit to me that it was because they caucused and said, we need to send a message to the House, and we're not going to vote on all of their bills. And this was one that they just decided to vote against. And I lost my ever-living mind. I was sitting in the Senate gallery next to my wife, and the gallery was full, and when all these senators started standing up and changing their vote, I let out a very loud verbal curse word, and it wasn't a good one. It was a bad one. And my wife's like, Sean, everybody heard you. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I was so mad, and it was, again, it was stupid politics. I probably didn't work as hard on the bill because I thought it was a no-brainer. Like I said, this is a good common sense. It's a safety measure for our crews. Why would you vote against it? And it was a victim of politics. And I knew that. And so this year we brought it back, even in a budget session where it's a little harder to get non-budget items passed, but I had talked to enough senators that felt bad about what happened the year before, that we got it passed, no problem. But they did, I was so scared because they did caucus again right before they voted on our bill. And I was sending texts to senators that I knew, and I'm like, what is going on? You're not going to do this to me again. And they're like, no, you're fine. So it passed, flying colors, takes effect July 1, slow down, move over, protect our crews. That's going to be all across the state of Wyoming. So it was a good victory, but it was harder to get there than I thought it would have been. So I think that's it. I better wrap it up. So thank you all for your time. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, John. Our next speaker then is Kim Christensen. Kim, who's the general manager of the Nebraska Rural Electric Association in Lincoln. Kim began with the NREA last November and previously held positions with the Kansas Electric Cooperative, the Kansas Corporation Commission, and the Kansas Department of Agriculture. Kim holds a bachelor's degree from Fort Hays State University, a master's degree in administration and supervision from Wichita State University, and a law degree from the University of Kansas. She's also taught at the high school and collegiate levels. Please help me welcome Kim.
Well, Brian told me he was saving the best for last, so I hope you agree. I have to pick on Sean every time I see him. Mike, my apologies. I'm glad there are some young people here. And I'm going to share a story with you. And this was a long time ago, but I taught college for 35 years, so I bet they still do this today. And some of you remember this. Your first day of college at orientation, and they said, look to your left, look to your right. One of those people won't be here in December. Do you remember that? All you guys remember this? Okay. We're going to do the same thing today. A little twist on it. Look to your left, look to your right. All of you own this company. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? You all own it. Now, I'm getting close to this number, and I know some of you are already at this number, but think about it. 81 years of good, solid service to the people in this area. If you aren't celebrating that, I don't know what you can celebrate. So thank you to all of you and to your board and all the employees for everything you do to make this company go. Now, we do in Nebraska for the folks High West serves in Nebraska exactly what Sean does. I, however, don't have any stories like that because I always get my way with the legislature. If you believe that, I have a bridge someplace I can tell you. We do the same kinds of services. And we try to do exactly what Wyoming tries to do. We try to assist High West in Nebraska to do a good job for you. Now, here are some things I've got to tell you about High West. First of all, when you walk back out of here today, they have one of those monitor kind of things, And I looked today, and it displays how many days without an injury the folks at High West have worked. Did any of you look at that? Raise your hand if you looked at that. Did you? Over 460, was it 461 days? You've got a board that has said to their employees, not only do we want to take care of you at work, we want you to go home at night in the same shape or better than you showed up. And you've got to thank your board and your management for making sure your employees stay safe so you get good electricity. Let's thank all those employees for that dedication. Now, I had you look to the left and the right. Think about this. You own this company. You have a voice in this company. Some of you young folks, if you want to come back, and we hope you come back to this territory after you go off to college, because there is no greater place to live than rural America. I raised my kids in, one of my daughters had 26 kids in her graduating class, the other had 22. Fantastic way of life. Well, come back to rural Wyoming, come back to rural Nebraska, and become a member of the board of this association. I can guarantee you they'll be here when you come back. But all of you have that opportunity. Tonight you handed in ballots. You have a chance to vote on the people that represent you up here. And that's kind of a tough job. I would imagine if you talk to any of the members of the board of directors, they'll tell you their first few meetings they were going, wow, I didn't know there was so much going on. So ladies and gentlemen, thank them right now and tonight for all they do. And if you're interested in running for this, especially young people, try to do that. Now, you guys can go home and turn on and off your switch. I will tell you a couple of quick stories. First of all, my grandfather and my uncles actually helped put up lines in central Kansas. Now, it was before I was born, okay? Some of these guys don't believe it, but it was before I was born. But I remember when I was 3 and 4 years old, my grandmother would go over to the switch in the kitchen, and she would flip the lights on and off and say to us, do you know what a miracle that is? So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of the way so you can get a hold of these prizes, but here's what I'd like you to think. Do you know what a miracle your electricity is? Do you know what a miracle it is that you own part of a company that for 81 years has been providing you safe, reliable, and obviously with the rate change, affordable electricity? Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I've had a great time. We'll see you next year.
To the vote counters, are they here? They want to come forward? We'll announce the results of the election. I already know what the results are, but I think they should come forward, just so we can confirm this. The proposed bylaw changes passed rather overwhelmingly, and it was a close election in District 11 and 13, but Ed and Michael, you made it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ken. Is there any unfinished business that needs to come before the membership? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Is there any new business that needs to come before the membership? Hearing none, I think we will call for adjournment. considering there's no additional business to come before the membership. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? And a second. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion is approved. So, that wraps up the meeting. But please stay around, and we will now move on to the prize drawing. Thank you.
All right, we would like someone to help draw names, so if Allison is here, Allison, are you still here? Would you draw names for us? Yeah. Great. Yep. And Connie Keenan is going to announce the winners, and then we'll run the prizes out. So we are going to start, our first prize is a gift basket from Mike McCrimmon at McCrimmon Productions. So,
Robert Johnson.
Robert Johnson, right here. I'll take that. Okay, second prize. Kimball Hospital Foundation has donated a soft-sided coater and cooler and cookbook.
Sharon Hahn.
Thank you. Okay, next is from Pheasants Forever, a messenger bag.
Dale Bowman.
Oh, Dale, all right.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we have from Pioneer Wood Corporation, Mike Skelton, 6 engraved wine glasses.
Dallas Brandt.
All right, Alan Ben's Art has donated a Beetle Kill Pine Mahogany Rim Wood Bowl.
David Leastman. David Leastman. Going once. All right, gone.
Oh, the number.
Oh, let's try the number. Oh, my gosh. 087649. It's a red ticket, if that helps.
Nope, I think we have to draw another.
79 are the last two numbers. Okay. Georgia Alexander.
Okay, next we have from Nancy Conger, a candle holder.
May Harms.
All right, next we have from Ward Insulation, 2 CFD rodeo tickets.
Ken Feller.
All right. Next we have from Shooting Stars, Daphne Rainey, lavender bath bombs.
Okay, this one is a red ticket. I have to read the number. 0876445.
Right over here. Okay, from Napa, here in Pine Bluffs, a bag chair.
Beulah Cleaning Smith.
Yeah. All right, Avon by Donna, a ceramic bird lantern set and 6-piece fragrant set.
Nancy Sundin.
Thank you. All right, Caldwell Banker, Sandy and Christie, fire pit gift set.
James Jacob.
Yep, right back here. Okay, from High Point Bison, Smokehouse Original Jerky.
Gary Manis.
All right, we have from the town of Pine Bluffs, a messenger bag full of goodies.
Roger Steve. This is my writing, I can't read it, so let me read the number. 858-5191. It's a blue ticket.
Yep, right back here.
We love you guys.
I didn't have somebody to
All right, from Margaret Burnett, an oil painting of a hand water pump.
Ed Ferguson.
Is that here?
Ed, let me read the number, it's a red ticket, 0876518. Donald Opolensky.
All right. Okay, next. We have from Two Broke Cowboys, a 5 Amigos fire roasted pepper salsa.
Okay, it's a red ticket, it doesn't have a name on it, the number is 0876447.
Okay, from Texas Trail Market, a $50 gift card.
Frank Castillo? Frank? The number is 1876485, red ticket. Okay, this one I have to read the number because there's no name. 0876443, it's a red ticket. It's 0876443. Melvin Young.
All right, from Bill McAfee, a homemade necklace.
Jim McWilliams.
All right, and from Preferred Care at Home, Christine McNeil, a hat and coffee cup.
Raymond Gamble.
Yep. Okay, from Grandma Sugar Plum, homemade retreat bag.
Michelle Hahn.
Okay, from Jean Labourette, homemade veterans prayer beads.
Fred Hood. Way in the back.
Okay, and from the Red Magazine, a Wyoming home basket.
Ralph Rolanitis, or something like that.
Yep, right back here. That was the end of the vendor prizes. So now we have some additional prizes. So we have from Cafe 307, 3 prizes. The first one is a $25 gift certificate.
Roy Young.
Yeah, Roy was here.
Roy. Number is 0876472. Red ticket. Carla Tabor.
Okay, another $25 gift certificate.
Michael Rucker. Michael Rucker, blue ticket number 8585218. James Jacob.
Yep. Got it. Okay, and a $50 gift certificate from Cafe 307.
John Thompson. Down in front.
Okay, next up, let's see, we have from Napa here in Pine Bluffs, 3 gift certificates. The first one will be a $25 one.
Gary Schmidt. No, this is Gary Schmidt.
Okay, another $25 one.
Mary Cochran, sorry.
And $50 gift certificate from Napa.
Dina Thompson. Dina Thompson, red ticket number 0876494.
Donna?
Okay, Donna Thompson. Somebody Thompson.
I'm sorry. That's okay.
Brian said, you'll recognize these names more than me, so you do this.
Okay, now from Panhandle Co-op, a $25 gift certificate.
David Audley. Red ticket 0876513. David? Mark Perkins. Mark Perkins, blue ticket 8585229. Dorothy Tim.
All right, another $25 gift certificate from Panhandle.
Lauren Short. Lauren Short, red ticket 0876507. Gerald Sitzman.
All right, now from Menards, we have a $25 gift certificate. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We do have a $50 from Panhandle, thank you.
Okay, it's a red ticket without a name, so it's number 0876458.
Yep.
08.
Right
Very
back
good.
here on the. Now we'll move on to Menards, $25.
James Steggy.
All right, one more $25 gift certificate from Menards.
L.W. Bard.
And a $50 gift certificate from Menards.
Ronald Sutherland.
All right, Texas Trail Market. The first one is a $25 gift certificate here in Pine. I don't know.
Lerwick Farms, not to be confused with Michael Lerwick.
No, he's ineligible.
Okay, red ticket number 0876444. 0876444. Richard Crozier.
Got it. Okay, now another $25 gift certificate for Texas Trail Market.
Lori Appola.
And a $50 gift certificate to Texas Trail.
Johnson Surplus.
All right, moving on to Walmart, a $25 gift certificate.
Leroy Young.
Yep, we got it. All right, another $25 gift certificate from Walmart.
Larry Williams. You're welcome, Larry. We've been practicing that, huh?
And a $50 gift certificate from Walmart.
Donna Spatz. Donna Spatz, it's a red ticket, 0876463. Marcy Koenig.
All right, great. Now, moving on to Olive Garden, $25.
Gary Kelly.
All right, Outback Steakhouse, a $25 gift certificate.
Jean Mueller Yanaga.
And another $25 gift certificate to Outback.
George Martin.
All right, Kohl's, a $25 gift certificate.
Annette Julius.
One more Kohl's, $25 in gift certificate.
Jack Baumhoff. Jack. Don Dethridge. Don Dethridge, blue ticket 8585198. Koenig Ranch.
All right, next up, we have Murdoch's in Cheyenne, a $25 gift certificate.
Ruby Hopka. Ruby Hopka, red ticket 0876469. Josh Stanley.
All right, another $25 gift certificate to Murdoch's.
Rodney Scheidegg.
And a $50 gift certificate to Murdoch's.
Barbara Fitch.
All right, moving on to Perkins, a $25 gift certificate.
James Foy.
Another $25 gift certificate to Perkins.
Francisco Marin.
And a $50 gift certificate to Perkins.
Julie Kranz.
Okay, Texas Roadhouse, a $25 gift certificate.
Wayne Lax. Wayne Lax, red ticket 0876484. Doris Steele.
All right, another $25 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse.
Seth Wilson.
Yep, he's in back. All right, Chili's, we have three $25 gift certificates, so we'll go 1, 2, 3. First one,
Phil Breeden.
okay, number 2.
Morris Jenkins.
And the third one.
Kenny King.
Okay. All right, up next, On the Border, $25 gift certificate.
M. Nolting. M. Nolting, it's a red ticket 0876499. Okay, it's a red ticket with no name, number is 0876466.
Oh, we got it over here. There's 466 was the last 3. Okay, now, that was for On the Border. Now we're moving on to Amazon, a $25 gift certificate.
Okay, it's a blue ticket without a name, the number is 8585181.
Yep. And another $25 gift certificate.
William Gorecki. Is that close? Okay, you recognized it.
All right, we have a $100 Sierra Trading Post gift certificate, which is donated by ESC, which is a consulting engineer that we use.
Dale Bosler.
All right. Next up, a $50 gift certificate from Lowe's.
William Anderson.
and that was donated by Western United Electric Supply. Now, a $50 gift certificate to iTunes, donated also by Western United Electric Supply.
Sharon Aziki? Well, at least they recognized it.
And a $50 American Express gift certificate donated by Western United Electric Supply.
Last name is Vincent.
All right, we have a Google Home Mini. 2 of them, but we'll do the first one. All right, okay.
Freeman Plinky.
And the second one.
Donnell McAuliffe.
Over here. We have a Big Boss oilless fryer.
John Gattikin.
And it looks like an Alexa Fire TV stick.
Norma Zabodi.
And a gardening kit.
David Letcher. I see your hat, David. That's how I knew you were still here.
And a 105-piece tool set with 4-drawer chest.
Noah Carey.
All right, looks like we have a cordless drill.
Gordon Maurer. Gordon Maurer.
What it is, he handed me his tickets as he went out the door.
Oh, he's not here?
No.
Okay, he can't win then. Sorry.
I still love you, Connie.
Thank you. Thank you. Ernest, oh no, sorry, Forrest Jordan. You guys are making me blush.
Right here. All right, we have, let's see, a Bauer 20-volt set, drill, battery, and a circular saw.
Jerry Steele. Hey, Jerry.
Isn't he ineligible?
Jerry's a retiree, so he's eligible now.
All right, a Samsung Galaxy Tab A.
Diana Burns.
Yep, got there. And actually, we have 2 of them, so the second one.
Lance Theobald. Alice is a retiree also.
All right, we have a Cheney Instruments weather reader.
Eldon Thomas.
We have a Milwaukee M18 2-tool combo kit.
Richard Johnson.
All right, let's see here. Looks like we have a Bella 6-quart pressure cooker.
Don Withrow.
Oh, go ahead. Don?
Don Withrow.
Don's here.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, we're getting down to some bigger ones now. A Vizio 34-inch D-Series HD TV.
Craig Maurer. Let me read the ticket number because I'm probably butchering that name. Red ticket 0876515. Oh, poor Craig. side for Ward 5. Carol Sowards.
There we go. Now we have a pit boss with pellets.
Phyllis Carlson.
Right over here. All right. Okay. Does it show up on screen? Okay. So we now, the last prize of the day is we have a progressive. Every year we add $100 to the pot, and we're up to $1,000 now. And we drew right before this, we have the database here, and the winner is Jean Darnell. There's Jean here, you must be present to win, and if Jean's not here, then we'll add $100 to the pot, and it'll be $1,100 next year. Jean? No, okay. With that, thank you once again for coming. Do we have leftovers? Are there any leftovers? No, no leftovers this year. All right. Thanks for coming.